I got a pillowcase. I'd tie a pillowcase around my head. That's what I was doing. And but the guards, the first time they saw that, had a panic attack. Like I tried to kill myself. Something. I'm like, guys, I'm just avoiding the roaches. It's fine.
Yeah, we'd mummify ourselves in sheets. And I had a neighbour who was asthmatic. He wakes up one morning out of breath, blasts a live cockroach inside himself. In the daytime, the prisoners were doing cockroach races, gambling on the winner. You
catch a case.
You got to live in harmony with your cellmates. You realise they own the building, make friends with them. You know, you just got to get on with it, haven't you? Somehow, otherwise you're going to drive yourself insane.
Well, that's it. It's like the violence thing we talked about earlier. If it's a certainty, it's a certainty. So I did my best to mitigate the certainty. But yeah, you're right. You have to find the humor in it. My brother and I would enjoy hunting them for humor. And humor is a fantastic, I mean, it's probably one of the greatest things God has given humanity. I'm sure we could have built the world, perhaps, and done all of these amazing things without the idea of humor, without the ability to laugh. We could still function. But it's the ultimate coping mechanism is laughing. And my brother and I, we spent a lot of time laughing in jail. I'd actually argue we laughed more often in jail than we do on the outside.
Yeah.
Because on the outside, we're busy and we're working and we're doing important things. But in jail, okay, you're suffering, but how do you make yourself feel better? You just tell jokes, right? So my brother says he's a tough guy and for some reason it's funny, or you dance around the cell. Or my brother and I had another saying in jail. Tristan goes to me, he goes, you know, Andrew, this is a matrix attack and we don't belong in here. I said, yeah. He goes, but think of all the things we've ever done. I said, what do you mean? He goes, don't you remember when I was 19 and those two boys came up to me in school and one of them said I was stupid, so I knocked them both out? I was like, yeah. He goes, was that really necessary? I said, probably not. He goes, so we don't deserve jail for this, but all in all, fair enough? And I was like, probably. All in all, if you add it all up, I could have probably done with a little bit of jail.
And we try and accept our karma cheerfully. And I think one thing the viewers, perhaps we could explain to them is, every day in their lives they're thinking, I'm going to get this work done, what I'm going to eat for dinner, I'm going to watch something with my girlfriend tonight. All that goes completely out of the window, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As soon as you go through that door, it's raw survival.
Yeah.
So how did that, it's like almost like you went into a state of relaxation. You say you didn't have your phone or whatever, you weren't doing your work.
Yeah.
How did you find that difference?
You get a lot more thinking time, which I think a lot of people waste, and I wasn't there to waste it. But I did make some very clear observations. I noticed how much I am purposefully distracting myself in the outside world, and I think all humans do this. You distract yourself because one, you have things to do, and two, if you start to feel an emotion or have a thought you don't like, you just instantly distract yourself. You get on your phone. If you're sitting there and you think of something sad, like you lost your parent and you think of it, the first thing you do, I guarantee within 3 seconds, is grab your phone and load up TikTok. And you distract your mind. Or you start working. Or if you think of someone, you call them. Or you text them. I need to talk to them about this. Okay. And you do it. Jail's weird because you have all these thoughts. You can't distract yourself. You can't action them. You can't talk to the people you're thinking about. And you're stuck with them inside your mind. So you have to become a lot more organized with your mind. It certainly is a mental exercise, which was very interesting. I had a lot of concerns for what was happening on the outside, more than my concerns for myself. I was very worried about the people I care about. I was very worried about my kids and my mother and their mothers and paying bills and is everyone else okay? I think if I knew everyone on the outside was 100% fine, and I did know that, but I needed to confirm it quite often. But if I knew that as like a decree, I think I would have struggled even less. I feel like we talk about the man saying he had problems with his wife. You're still a man. You still have masculine duties. The difficulty's just gone through the roof. You still have bills to pay. You still have to protect and provide for people. You still have to be the rock of the family. You still have to be all the things you were, but now you're stuck in jail. So it just amplifies the difficulty and the stress and the pressure. So a lot of my concern was for that, and I'd be sitting there and have an idea or have a thought in my head about what I can do about this person or that person or X, Y, Z, and I didn't have an ability to do anything about it, or I had to wait for 2 days till I had a phone call, and you're just stuck with these thoughts in your mind on repeat, which I guess is why people kill themselves, because they get a negative thought in their head, and they didn't have the mental control to just get rid of it.
Did your mind start to review your life?
It did, and I came to a conclusion which actually was quite comforting. And I said this to Tristan. I said, Tristan, if you were to come to us at the age of 16 as nobodies in a Luton council estate and say that you're going to struggle in life and you're going to become kickboxing world champions and you're going to try your very best in lots of different things, but you're never going to rob any grandmas, you're never going to sell, guns, you're not going to commit. And then around the age of 26, 27, you'll start to make some money. And then you'll become multimillionaires, you become some of the most famous people on the planet, and you'll drive around in Bugattis, and you'll fly on private jets, and you'll do all these things. But at the age of 36, you're going to have to go to jail. At 16, would you have signed that piece of paper? And I said, you know what, I would have. Knowing me, I would have said, what, when I'm 36, I have to go to jail a little bit? Sure. How long for? I mean, it's turned out to be 3 months plus 5 months house arrest. Will I probably go back for some years? I have no idea. I don't. I have so little faith in the system. People keep asking me, hey, Andrew, what's happening with your case? I'm like, bro, I don't know. England tried to put me in jail yesterday. I haven't lived in England in 10 years. I don't have a clue what's going on. And at a certain level of fame, the whole judicial system is only theater anyway. It's not real. It's all a big play. So, but would I have agreed to this life path? Probably. And I would have taken the highs with the lows. I've never been a coward. Would I have accepted higher highs to have lower lows? Yes. That's who I've always been as a man. I could have avoided all of these problems by not having a Bugatti and not going to jail and working in Starbucks.
If you're looking for a gift, my new book, Sit Downs with Gangsters, is available worldwide on Amazon. We've interviewed over 1,000 people now, and we selected 10 of the hardest hitting stories to go in this book. Each chapter features the story of one of our podcast guests. Those stories are Shane Taylor, Knife Maniac's Redemption; John Elite, Mafia Hitman for the Gambino crime family; Joey Barnett, 35 years in UK prison; Ian Blink MacDonald, £6 million bank robber; Chet Sandu, Asian smuggler in Spanish Supermax; John Lawson, the hit team commander; David Macmillan, international smuggler's Thai death row prison escape; John Abbott, San Quentin prison shootout and escape; Michael Francis, Colombo crime family capo portrayed in Goodfellas; and Wildman, English enforcer in Arizona prison. Link in description box on YouTube, available worldwide on Amazon. Also, my next book, Untouchable Jimmy Savile, is getting published in December 2023. So check that out as well. It will be available worldwide on Amazon. Thank you for listening. Cheers.
But as I've said many times before, then all you're doing is burying your head in the sand like an ostrich, hoping that the matrix doesn't run you over. I have a lot of people say to me, Andrew, why do you fight so hard against the system? Because the system's coming for absolutely everybody. It's not just coming for me, it's coming for you as well. It's coming for every single man on the planet. This garbage they just hit me with, opening up cases from 10 years ago that have previously been closed to try and put me in jail because they don't like what I say, is proof in and of itself that any man with an opinion is not safe in the world anymore. Your ability to speak freely is directly correlated to your insignificance. And if people know who you are and you say the truth, not if you say bad things, if you say the truth, they will try and put you in jail. So you have two choices. You can fight against it and stand up and resist, or you can bury your head in the sand, agree with the garbage they put on the news, have a lackluster relationship, a woman who barely respects you because she wishes you were a warrior deep down, work a bull job, listen to the HR department, call everyone by their pronouns, and hope to be eaten by the alligator last. But you're gonna die just the same. So I don't see the point in delaying the inevitable. What did I say at the beginning of this? If it's gonna be a fight, I'm gonna swing first. There is a war against free thought. There is a war against the basic tenets of masculinity. They are out to destroy anybody who thinks for themselves or has any semblance of manhood about him. And if that war is certain, which it seems like it is, I'm gonna swing first. I'm not gonna wait for them to sucker punch me. So the only way I could have not taken this deal and avoided jail was to sit there and be a coward from the beginning and then live a mediocre life, which I think is a far more heinous punishment. The insignificance of being a normie and a brokey is far worse than being up here one day and down here the next, then up here again. Because I can deal with it all. I was in jail yesterday and I'll be in jail again. And I'll walk out again, head held. Might take a year, might take 10. But I'm not gonna sit and just do. You know how many people have messaged me since yesterday saying, Andrew, it's not worth it. They're too strong, they're too powerful, just shut up. I'm like, I understand why, as a woman or a coward, that crosses your mind. But let me explain something to you. That doesn't cross the mind of a warrior ever. It's not an option on the board. We're playing chess. I don't think I wish my bishop could move that way, because it can't. Whether I'm winning or losing, my bishop operates in a specific way and I can't make it do anything else. I'm not gonna quit and start putting on a dress and talking for Globo to save myself going to the cell. I'd rather go to the cell and tell my cellmates why I'm there, because I told the truth and I caught another case.
Where does that noble warrior, self-sacrifice side of you come from?
I don't even really truthfully see it as self-sacrifice. I just feel like God has given me this platform, and I like to believe, and I know this is incorrect, that if someone else had this platform, they'd do the same thing. But that's clearly not true, because you look at all the other people with platforms like mine and how quickly they've sold their souls. And if I were to sell my soul, then there's very little hope as it is. Am I gonna cuck now? Am I gonna give up? That's what they want more than anything. That's what all of this is about, to chop off the head of the general. They want to destroy my life to stop anybody else being brave. Remember that top G guy? He had it all going for him, didn't he? He had all that money, flying around the world, living on a yacht. Everything was fine for him. He spoke too much. Don't, listen, you're doing well right now. It's not worth it. Look what happened to that guy. He's still in jail. That's what they want to do. I couldn't live with myself if I shut up. I couldn't look in the mirror if I am quiet.
But don't you have some trepidation about your 3 strikes theory? Because strike 1 and 2 have already happened, and the 3rd strike is the end, isn't it?
Well, maybe to make myself feel better, I've come up with this cope. But my 3-strike theory is correct. The first thing they do is discredit you and cancel you. The second thing they do is try and put you in jail. The third thing they do is kill you. As of yet, I'm yet to do a long stretch. So I feel like we're halfway through life 2. They'll give me 10 years first. So I kind of feel like I've still got life 2 kind of left. I've got things to look forward to. The cockroaches are waiting in a line with their antennas in the cracks for Top G to come back. So after my 10-year stretch, I'm sure I'm far more likely to get shot in the head. But for now, I thought my 10-year stretch began yesterday. And I truly did. Yesterday was all about putting me back in jail. It wasn't even really about extradition. The UK government was saying, okay, we want him for this bullshit. We know you have a domestic case going on, so if he must stay in Romania, to make sure he doesn't avoid extradition, can you please make sure he stays in jail until he is extradited, which could be years. And the Romanian government declined and said, no, he's a free man until he's extradited. So a Romanian judge saved my life, effectively. But it's very interesting to be sitting in a room and there's people talking a foreign language and your life is being decided. And then I left jail. I left the courtroom, and I wasn't particularly positive or negative. I had absolutely no idea what even happened, to be honest, because I don't speak Romanian. I don't know. I don't even know what was being said. And I walk out and I look at the camera and I smile and I wink, and that picture's gone viral. That wasn't because I was necessarily happy. It wasn't because I was positive. That was because they don't want me to smile. The whole point of this is to humiliate me and bring me down. But I smile anyway. That's my resistance. My resistance is, ha ha ha, I'm still happy. If I go to jail, I'll dance around with my brother and he'll call himself a tough guy and we'll smoke cigarettes. That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna sit there and slick back his hair and say, I'm a tough guy. I don't care about it. I'm a tough guy. And we're gonna laugh and it's gonna be stupid. And that's how you resist these people, because there truly is evil in the world. And we've just discussed in all the ways the system is broken.
So I corresponded with Julian Assange when he was in the embassy. Do you think that was a possible outcome for you?
Isn't Assange's fate being decided right now? They haven't decided formally and finally yet.
They're trying to get him to America where he's never going to get out.
Yeah. Bro, you know what the scariest thing about all of this stuff to me is? We've entered a new phase, and I feel like it was the death of Epstein that began this phase. They used